some folk in Connemara, and at them I'll never mock, for they have seen a terrible beast, a beast, a beast, rise out of the loch. It's dreadful, it's dark.
These men and women are professionals. Professionals in a rather exotic field, but they're as expert at their jobs as any people in these islands. They are hunters. Hunters of monsters. Captain Lionel Leslie, founder member of the Loch Ness Phenomena Investigation Bureau, retired regular army officer.
When I was here 2 years ago, I heard that a local man had had a sighting here. So I went to meet him with his brother, who had also been present, and he described how about 100 yards away from this lake, one day he saw an animal swimming in it. At first he thought it was a heifer, but then when he looked again, it was a great big sort of eel-like head, and as it turned over, he noticed that the underneath part was white. Then, since that time, I have had news that in February of last year, the same man was walking with his children beside this lake, and they saw this creature again, this time much nearer. So he sent one of the children back to fetch his wife, and they watched it for some time.
Holly Arnold, an American, secretary to the Bureau.
Well, I generally handle the correspondence that we get, and we get things from all over the world. All different kinds of people, usually amateurs who are just interested.
Ivor Newby, a skin diver.
I haven't come in here to dive for fun. There's no fun diving here or at Loch Ness. It's purely on interest. Underwater one can see what the bottom looks like. One can see what the water looks like from underneath, and any vegetation and what have you, which of course you can't do from the surface.
And Ted Holliday, author of the best-selling The Great Orme of Loch Ness, the latest in a long list of books about the age-old monster of that mysterious Scottish lake.
I've been going up to Loch Ness now for 7 years, spending anything from 3 weeks to as much as 2 months up there, keeping observation on the loch with binoculars and camera, trying to get a good picture of this phenomena that everyone talks about.
But for the moment they've forsaken the mists of Inverness Shire for the stormy, wet and windswept bogs of Connemara, because they believe that here there is a lake monster. But not just one lake monster. 2 or maybe even 3 monsters may perhaps inhabit these lakes. Loch Ona, Loch Glan, the Killary. Between Clifton and Leenane there's hardly a lake, or a pond even for that matter, that doesn't have its monster legend. Its tale about what people hereabouts call horsey.
Loch Wee monster. The lake is for swimming.
He was very long, I reckon 15 or 16 foot. His head was at least 2 foot long, and half his body was over water. He was like a serpent, moving very fast.
There was definitely something pushing it forward.
It was over by St. Mark's Bay. It's like an old wives' tale we had heard of stories long ago, or of a man who spent too much time in Shark's Bar.
Have you seen it yourself?
Till I seen it myself.
see it?
Is
that a hare? Here, get this out. What is that? You getting this?